guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is David Mahony, conductor for Ministry of Sound. He'll be performing at the Coca-Cola Arena for the first time on November 9th. The concerts blend classic and contemporary music. It's an absolute blast, and this is an experience you don't want to miss. Here to tell us all about it, David, well, on Zoom, in fact. Welcome, David, to the show. How are you doing?
Good, Casey. Thanks for having me.
Let's get down to it. For people who don't know, can you introduce them to what Ministry of Sound is?
Well, Ministry of Sound, obviously an iconic British dance music brand set up as a club in Elephant and Castle, just down the road from where I am in London at the moment, actually, back in 1991. Went on to become the cultural institution of dance music of the time. Famous, of course, for its compilation albums. I think there's some facts that I looked up. I think the Annual 2, which was a big compilation album, is still the best-selling dance music compilation of all time, and the first one to ever sell 1 million copies. So it's a huge brand that we're working with. And this show, Ministry of Sound Classical, brings that experience to new life, if you like, reimagined and relived with a full orchestra.
It sounds wild, like, as you said, it's an institution of music, but if I'm to go to Coca-Cola, what can I expect? Am I sitting? Am I standing? Am I dancing?
If you were sitting, I would be very disappointed. Standing, you are partying, you are raving. We've got full orchestra on stage, we've got screens, lights, lasers, sensational vocalists, pyrotechnic. It's the full shebang. It's an incredible, energetic experience. We've been touring this show around the festival circuit in the UK, and the energy that you get back from the audience is just something like I've never experienced before. You know, I'm an orchestral conductor, so I'm not used to this kind of these wild crowds going for it. But it's just a completely unique experience that you can't really describe. You just have to be there and to experience it yourself.
How did you find your way as an orchestral conductor into Ministry of Sound, and like, how does that differ? What was that jump like?
It was quite something. So most of my work is conducting film with live orchestra shows. So I was kind of across that kind of the crossover of, I wasn't necessarily a classical music conductor, but working with orchestras, a lot of film scores. And then the opportunity came along, and I spoke to my wife about it. And she's obviously very supportive of everything I do, of course. But I've never seen her more excited when I told her about the opportunity to conduct this gig, because it's basically it's her life. She lives for this kind of music. So rest assured, she accompanies me on every single Ministry of Sound classical gig, which is quite nice.
Well, watching it live must be one thing, but can you give us, like, what's it like behind the scenes? There's you as a conductor, but you mentioned pyrotechnics, you mentioned a full orchestra. How many people, how many man hours are going into creating this show that we're just going to see for one night only, by the way?
It's a huge team, incredible team of people. The show has been, put together over the last kind of 5 or 6 years. So this is the culmination of a lot of hard work behind the scenes from incredible orchestrators, producers, and of course the instrumentalists themselves and the singers. So there's probably like a core team of about 50, 60 people just on the day itself, and then that's not including all the background stuff. We do annually, we perform this show at the Royal Albert Hall. It's become a kind of annual fixture in the events calendar there. And you go to that show and you realize, actually, wow, it takes a huge amount of people to put this together. I stand at the front, wave my arms around and make the orchestra play in time and sort of chat to the audience during the show. But I am just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to to what's involved in putting this huge show together.
What a boss job to have, I must say. And what about the song compilations? Tell us a bit about the team behind that, and like, give us some bangers, give us some classics that we can look forward to.
Well, it's about an hour-and-a-half show, and we managed to squeeze pretty much every iconic 90s dance track into that time.
Love it.
The way that it's been put together is so clever. It's sort of in what we call suites. So you have sort of 6 sections of the show, if you like. running through the entire history of dance music. You're talking anything from Chemical Brothers, Hey Boy, Hey Girl, Dario G, Sunshine, Faithless is our big closer. There's a bit of a secret, which I'm not going to give away. You have to come to the show to watch it, that we mix in with Insomnia at the end. Fatboy Slim, one of my personal favourites. As a proud Welshman, our football team, the Wales football team, the iconic track for their walkout music is Zombie Nation, great dance track. So that's a particular favourite of mine in the show. But and then it moves through to sort of the more recent sort of poppy vocal hits. We got three incredible singers who join us, and it's just basically a whistle-stop tour of the history of dance music, something for everyone, and it's just a completely unique, breathtaking experience.
So cool. And how set are the suites? For example, you're coming to the UAE for the first time. We have a very diverse audience, and no doubt you'll get a very mixed crowd. So, like, is there a hack as a conductor or as an orchestra? Like, would you ever change something midway if you felt that the audience wasn't vibing?
Sadly, unlike a DJ, I like to think that as conducting the show, it's the closest I'll come to actually being a DJ. I don't quite have that flexibility because it's much harder to get sort of a 50-piece orchestra to sort of change midway. But this the set has been kind of tweaked over the years to kind of really balance it, and it works the crowd incredibly well. And I'm sure that'll translate to our Dubai audience as well.
So exciting. Before you leave us, you mentioned Royal Albert Hall, which I'm sure is a highlight, but do you have any personal memory that stands out from your time with Ministry of Sound?
Every single show is completely unique because of the surroundings that we're in. I love the festival circuit and touring all the festivals around the UK. My first ever show still lives in the memory because we were in Hampton Court Palace in South London, so not where you expect to do an outdoor dance music show, but the weather was absolutely horrific. But if anything, it added to the experience, and the crowd just completely went for it. They got absolutely drenched. It was my first ever show. I wasn't quite sure what I was getting myself in for, but I came off that stage completely buzzing. It was an incredible experience. That was the start of my ministry journey, and it's been really exciting ever since. How
epic. Like dancing in the rain, you can't beat it. Well, there'll be no rain in Dubai, but other than that, you've sold me for sure. Cannot wait to see all of Dubai down at the Ministry of Sound performing at the Coca-Cola Arena November the 9th. Thank you so much, David Mahony, who is the conductor, and he'll be there on the night. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Casey.
Guys, that was David Mahony, conductor of the Ministry of Sound. He'll be performing at the Coca-Cola Arena November 9th. It sounds like an absolute blast. You don't want to miss this. I'll see you there.